Thank you so much. We are continuing with kingdoms. We are continuing with kingdoms in the intercastral region. The last time we were here, we saw the intercastral kingdoms, and still we are moving with the same. And today, we are looking at the kingdom of Buganda. And of course, we shall begin with the origins of Buganda and the kingdoms of Buganda theory. Origins are based on theories, and there are two basic theories that explain the origins of Buganda. The first one is the Kintu Theory and the Kabakas theory. Two theories explain the origins of Buganda. The Kintu Theory, that Kintu was the founder, and the Kabakas theory. Two theories can explain. Buganda Kingdom was founded on the shores of Lake Victoria by location. By location, it is in central Uganda, but on the shores, just on the shores around Lake Victoria, that's where we can locate this ancient kingdom. Kabakas, according to the Kabakas theory, was the founder of Buganda. That's according to Buganda traditions. That is according to Buganda traditions, that Kabakas was the founder of Buganda. And we are told that Kabakas was a brother to Rukidi Mpuga. Mpuga, that was from Bunyoro. Was from Bunyoro, and at the same time, the founder of the Bito dynasty. So Kabakas originated from Bunyoro with about 6 to 7 clans. About 6 to 7 clans, and those were from Bunyoro. And then when he migrated to Buganda, these clans started multiplying into the Buganda of today. So the 6 to 7 clans were the ones that started the Buganda society. So it was Rukidi Mpuga, the founder of the Bito dynasty, that therefore gave his brother the starting point. In other words, the Rukidi Mpuga of Bunyoro and the Bito dynasty was ruler in Bunyoro, whereas his brother Kabakas migrated and left Bunyoro to form Buganda Kingdom. This was because of the conflicts over the throne. Conflicts over the throne in Bunyoro. We call them conflicts within the princes. Conflicts with the princes. The princes were conflicting, and therefore these disputes led to Kabakas leaving to go and found the kingdom of Buganda. Yes. So because of those conflicts, he had to leave. That is according to the Kinyoro traditions. According to the Buganda traditions, it was Kintu who was the founder of Buganda. It was Kintu who was the founder of Buganda, and therefore he is known as the first Muganda. The first Muganda was Kintu. He came from Mount Elgon, that is in Mbale sub-region. Yes, that's where he came from. And he migrated from Mount Elgon and came to Buganda. It is also said that he came with 13 clans. 13 clans. Yes, but unlike the two brothers who had these disputes over the throne, for him we didn't have any dispute. over the throne. There was no dispute, but for him, he just left. He said from the mountain and then moved to Buganda with 13 clans, which form part of Buganda clans today. The 13 clans form part of Buganda clans today, and they have very many clans, over 50 plus. So all that one was, all those ones originated from the 13 that this man Kintu came with. However, there are other theories which state that other clans would have come from the Sese Islands. Yes, from the Sese Island, that is in the Lake Victoria. That is where we look at people, other clans like Mulondo, the Mulondo clans. So Mulondo is based on the Sese Island tradition, that some of the clans came from the Sese Islands and they came to Buganda only to form a bigger Buganda. Of course, because of the coming of these other clans, Buganda became a bigger society. However, it was a small nucleus. It started as tiny, very tiny, small nucleus, very tiny, meaning it therefore grew as a result of conquest and annexation. Yes, because of the conquest and annexation, it became a very big what? Empire. From a very small nucleus into a big what? Into a big empire. And how did this one happen? Because of the conquest and annexation. To annex is to add on the already existing. So, and who was doing this annexation and conquest? It was the greater kings or Kabakas, the ancient Kabakas. As we shall see, ancient Kabakas, those old time, were the ones that raided in all directions, north, south, east, west. And that kind of raiding and annexation, or conquest and annexation, later turned the kingdom into a big what? To a big empire. The small nucleus included the 3 counties. The first one was Chadondo, Busiro was the second, and the third was Mawokota. So the 3 counties that made Buganda included Chadondo, Busiro, and Mawokota, and that was the beginning, the starting point. That was the starting point of the kingdom, and that was the nucleus we are talking about. However, because of the conquest and annexation, I have told you, it became an empire. So it began from the 16th century. The conquest and annexation started in the 16th century and it was spearheaded by Kabakas. Kabakas raided Bunyoro, attacked Bunyoro, annexed areas like Gomba, Butambala, and parts of Singo. That is the beginning of the conquest exercise. North, south, east, and what? And west. So a man called Kabaka Katerega, raided Bunyoro and annexed those areas. Then Katerega again raided the Voodoo, Buekula, and Koki and Kiziba. Those areas, Voodoo, later Koki and Kiziba. Still, as a result of conquest and annexation, Buganda was now becoming bigger and bigger. There is another Kabaka called Mawanda who raided Busoga and the parts of Budu, and then formed a bigger what? Buganda. You can see from the original nucleus of only 3 counties, Gadondo, Busira, and Mawokota, to now a bigger what? Enclave. So thanks goes to these great Kabakas who did the raiding and the conquest exercise. Another Kabaka known as Kamanya, Kabaka Kamanya, is said to have raided Buekula, forming a bigger Buganda. So you can see, Buekula was also added onto the already annexed areas. And we are told, because of this exercise of conquest and annexation by the ancient Kabakas, the great Kabakas, it resulted into a bigger empire. By the 18th century, the kingdom had become so large, and we shall see, because of that kind of extension, it started, it became a problem to control, as we shall see later in the factors for the decline of Buganda. So because of the conquest and annexation exercise by the greater Kabakas, by the 18th century, it was a big empire. However, by the 19th century, it had started to decline. By the 16th century, 19th. By 19th century, it had started to decline, meaning that some of these conquered and annexed areas had already started being independent. They started breaking away. Yes, they started to do what? To break away. And because of the conquered or annexed areas breaking away, it started to shrink. It started to do what? To shrink. And what is shrinking? It started to break into smaller sub kingdoms, because they started demanding for the independence, those conquered states. And that one started the shrinking of the kingdom. What does that one mean? That it started going back to the original state, or the original size, where it had only 3 counties of Chadondo, Busiro, and Mawokota. And by the 20th century, on a sad note, by the 20th century, it was no more. It was no more by the 20th century. By the 20th century, the kingdom was no more. The once powerful kingdom had come to an end by the 20th century. But despite this sad note, where we are looking at the kingdom shrinking and breaking into smaller ones, we cannot forget the role played by these greater Kabakas of the time. Notably, Kabaka Katerega, the one who pioneered the conquest and annexation exercise. Talk about Kabaka Mawanda, the one who followed in the conquest and annexation exercise. Talk about Kabaka Kamanya. All these did not let the conquest and annexation down. But there are even others, as I'll see. There was a Kabaka known as Sema Kokiro. Kabaka Sema Kokiro. That one was also instrumental. When we look at the able leaders, Sema Kokiro cannot also be left out. And his role was especially when it came to the army. The army was very good at mobilizing the army. Abamboa, as we shall see on the factors for rice. How did they fight? Sema Kokiro was even said to have even fought in the clouds. You can imagine. He had some powers that were rare. That when it came to fighting, he could even fight in the air. That was Kabaka Sema Kokiro. So despite the decline of the kingdom by the 20th century, its growth and expansion was so amazing. And it was this greater kingdom that now, which forms part of the greater kingdoms in the Interlacustrine region. But of course, grew from a humble origin, and from the two theories we saw, that is, we are trying to recap. We are recapping on the growth of the kingdom based on two theories, that is the Kinyoro theory, Kinyoro traditional theory, that is Kato Kimera, the one who came from Bunyoro, and the brother to Mpuga, Lukidi, and then the Kintu Theory, the first Muganda, who migrated from the areas of Mount Elgon, and later came to Buganda to form the greater kingdom of Buganda. So from these two theories, we can get the origins of Buganda. We come with the factors for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.